Dear friends, welcome to today's session. Up till now, we have learned in our theory what are objects, classes, and methods, and we have also seen the different types of syntax which are used for the creation of a class, a method, as well as how do we declare, initialize, and instantiate a particular object. Okay, we also have discussed that we can call a particular method or call any block of code inside a particular method using an object along with a dot operator. Okay, let us first see this with an example. Okay, so for this I will be opening a notepad editor. Okay, so this is a program which will demonstrate class, objects, and methods. So if you can recall, how does our class start or how does a program start? So we know that in Java each and everything begins with the keyword class. Okay, so we will consider a class whose name is birds. Okay, and then we will open the open brace for writing the body. Okay, I'll do one thing, I'll write the closing braces also so that I do not miss out on any of the syntaxes. Alright. Now, moving ahead, let us first define the main function. Okay, so for that I will use the public static. Public is the access specifier, public static void main, and within bracket I will use string args. Okay, so this you can rename into anything, but since most commonly we use this particular naming convention, so we are using this. So I will also be using the closing braces here. So if you're using an IDE, it will be much better because the indentation there is very much aligned. But however, here also you have to, if you work with proper indentation, you will not face any problem. Okay, now what I'll do is, this is the main function from which my program will start executing. Okay, now let me write another method here. In our theory session, in our previous video, we discussed that for an animal, there are two different methods, that is eat and chase. So for birds also we have two different methods. Methods are the behavior. Okay, so we will be considering eat and fly here. So let us consider a method which is public void eat. Okay, so this is public void eat. So this is the method which is responsible for the eat behavior or eat method of that particular birds class. Okay, so suppose here I will just display a statement system.out.println. so this is basically the system class, out is from the print stream class, and println is used for printing into the next line. Okay, so here it says that birds eat seeds. Okay, so this is the statement which is going to be executed when this particular method is called. Now how do I call this method? Okay, so we have seen this class, all right, and we have also seen the main method here, as well as there is another method which is void eat. Okay, or which is known as eat. Now if I am writing here something like this, system.out.println, so if I am printing something like this, let's say a test run. Okay, so now let me save this and see what does my program print. Okay, so I'll save this with the name, same name as that of the particular class. So birds is the name of my program, so birds is also the name of my file. Now what I'll do is I'll open the terminal or the command prompt, and I will simply go to the place where I have saved my program. So that is inside several folders, cd java programs, and then finally I will be able to call my program, okay, which is birds.java. So let me compile this java c birds.java. Okay, so let's see if there is any error. So there is no error, it has compiled correctly. Okay, now what I'll do is I'll simply run this and let us see what does it print. Okay, java birds, and it prints the first statement which is there. Let me minimize this. Okay, so it prints the first statement which is there within the main function. As already mentioned, the execution of a particular java program starts from the main method. And what is there in the main method? Just a simple display statement saying that it is test run. Now what about this particular method which is already there? Okay, how do I call this method? So in order to call this method, I have to create an object and call this method using that particular object of the class birds and along with a dot operator. Okay, so let us create an object first. So how do we declare create an object? So if you go back to my previous video, you will see the syntax of it. So birds, let's say parrot, par is the name of the object, so is equal to new. We will use the new keyword in order to create a new object. Okay, create or instantiate a particular object, and this object is of the class birds. Okay, so I have also initialized it. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'll use this object par along with a dot operator followed by the name of the method which I want to execute, okay, or which I want to call. So ended with a semicolon. Now what I can do is, let me save this. Now let us see what does it prints. So again I have to compile my program and find out if there are any errors. So there is no error here. So now what I can do is I can simply run the program. So what do I get here? The first thing, my execution will start from this point. Okay, so hence the first statement will definitely get printed. Now as soon as I am creating this object, okay, and calling the method using this object along with the dot operator, the display statement which is there or the print statement which is there within this particular method also gets called. Okay, now let us try something else. Okay, let us do one thing. We will simply be calling another method or writing another method. So public void, let's say run, or no, let's say fly. So any birds can fly, so let's say fly. So what I'll do is system.out.println, and here I'll write that birds can fly. Okay, so this is the next method. So now how do I call this particular method? I can call this particular method using the same object which is par dot, let's say fly, the name of the method, and we will simply execute this. So when I'm executing this, let's say, let me first save this. Okay, when I'm saving this, and now I'll compile it for any errors. So there are no errors, right? So what I'll do is I'll just execute it, and now you can see there are the object can call the second method which is fly as well. Okay, so likewise you can create n number of methods within this particular class, and you can go on calling that method every time you want to do it. Okay, every time you want to display anything which is written or do any kind of operation which is inside some other methods, right? Now what I'll do is, let me create another class. Okay, let me create another class. So if I'm creating another class, essentially this class should be, the new class should be outside of the class which is originally written for this program. So I'll write a separate class which is class, let's say for let's say animals. Okay, animals. So when I'm writing this class animals, all right, so I'll write this. Okay, so this is another class, and within this class I have a different method which is run, or which is, let's say, chase. Okay, this will be a very appropriate word. So here I have another display statement which says system.out.println and animals can chase. Okay, so this is another statement, and let's close this class. Now what would happen if I would want to call or if I want to print whatever there is within this particular chase method? Okay, what would happen? Because this is a separate class, birds is a separate class, animals is a separate class. So is it possible that using the same object I can call any other method which is in some other class? Okay, so let us first try that out. Okay, first let us consider the initial object which we have created. So let's say the new name of the method is chase. So I'll save this, and now let us execute this. So Java C. So here I will be thrown with an error, or there will be an error which states that it cannot find the symbol par.chase. Okay, symbol method chase, because this is happening because par is an object which is created for the birds class. Okay, and this par or pair is trying to access a method which is of a different class, that is the animal class. Okay, now this can also be executed, or we can also call this particular method. However, what we need to do is just one simple step. That means we need to create a separate object. Okay, a separate object or a new object of the animals class. Okay, so let's say, let me create a different object. Animals, let's say dog is equal to new animals, and simply we have instantiated and initialized the particular object. Now what I'll do is I'll use dog dot the name of the method which is there in the animals class. Okay, so this is it. We'll save this and we will try to execute this. Okay, so when we are trying, let me clear the screen first. Okay, so when we are trying to execute this particular program, so let's first compile it. Do we have any error? Now it is showing no error because initially par was an object of the birds class and it was trying to access the object of the animals, the method of animals class. Okay, so here, since now I have created an object of the animals class, and then I'm trying within the main method, and I'm trying to access another object which is there, another method which is there in the animals class itself. So it will not throw me any error. Okay, so let us see. I'll run this program. Okay, Java birds. So see, now animals can chase. So this method can also be accessed from the birds class because I have created an object of this particular animals class. Okay, likewise you can create n number of classes within the same program, and you can simply go on accessing the different types of methods which are already there. Okay, Now there is another concept which is known as inheritance. We will be doing in our subsequent sessions. So inheritance is another property which will make these things much more easier. That means you will be able to do this without actually creating an object or without actually going into much complexity. So when we will do that, we will understand it better. So but for as of now, you have to understand that this is how a particular class is written, as well as how the main method is declared, and how we can create an object using the new keyword. Okay, so this is what it is all about from classes, object and methods. As and when we will slowly progress into the course, I believe things will be much more clear from all aspects. Okay, this program you can try out in your own systems. You can try to create as many methods as you want, but it's just that you have to understand how things are working so that it becomes easier for you to program as well in your subsequent sessions. Okay, and we will also be learning about how to pass different variables. Okay, I mean pass different values within variables, so that we will also be taking up in our next session. Okay, so that is all from this video. We'll meet again in the next video. Thank you.